If you look around your life and all you see is a trail of almost, a hair business you started but never fully established, an unfinished book sitting in your drafts, a set of cooking tools you were sure would turn into something more, and now a sudden interest in learning project management, data analysis, or tech skills, you probably carry a very specific kind of shame. People don't always say it out loud, but you feel it. They call you unfocused, chaotic. Someone might even use the word dilettante. You feel like an imposter because you can't seem to pick one lane and stay there. You know the quote, "Jack of all trades, master of none," and you've used it to beat yourself up more times than you can count. But what people rarely finish saying is the rest of the quote. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but often better than a master of one. Psychology suggests that this feeling of being scattered isn't a defect. It's a signal. You're not failing to specialize. You're adapting. What you're unconsciously building is something called an M-shaped mind. While the world keeps telling you to focus, your brain is preparing you for a future where extreme specialization is actually dangerous. And let me pause here, because this isn't just theory for me. I caught myself recently laughing at my own life and thinking, wow, I'm really living this. I even started wondering if I should change the name of this channel. I thought, should I stop using my personal name and just call it Counselor of Our Time? Could. Honestly, what do you think? Drop it in the comment section, because when I look at my own life on paper, it looks exactly like the kind of life society loves to judge. I'm trained in counseling psychology. I'm a behavioral therapist, a special education therapist. I've worked as an MC and an event planner. I'm a hairstylist, a caregiver, a teacher, a content creator. And now, project management has entered the chat. To someone watching from the outside, that list sounds chaotic. Like I couldn't make up my mind. Like I didn't stick to one thing long enough. But psychology helped me understand something powerful. That list isn't confusion, it's architecture. Every role trained a different part of my brain. Counseling taught me how people think and cope. Special education taught me patience, structure, and systems. Event planning taught me logistics and pressure management. Hairstyling taught me focus, creativity, and human connection. Content creation taught me communication and storytelling, and project management. That's just everything finally learning how to work together. That's the M-shaped mind in real life. Now, to understand why this actually makes sense, we have to look at the lie many of us were sold. For a long time, success worked like a straight line. Pick one skill. Dig deep. Stay there forever. Psychologists call that a kind environment, like golf. The rules never change. Practice the same swing long enough, and you win. But you don't live in a kind environment. You live in a wicked environment. Industries change overnight. 1 year, social media managers are in demand. The next year, it's data analysts, then product managers, then cybersecurity, then AI tools, then people who can combine tech with communication, teaching, or care work. Your brain sees this instability, even if you don't consciously think about it. That's why 1 year you're obsessed with learning digital skills. Another year, you're thinking about starting a business, then teaching, then healthcare, then something completely different. To an outsider, it looks like chaos. But what you're really doing is gathering data from different worlds. Psychologists call this far transfer. Specialists use near transfer. They solve the same problems with the same tools. But you take ideas from one field and apply them somewhere completely different. Think of someone who worked in customer service and later thrived in UX design. Or someone who cooked for years and later built a food brand using digital marketing. Or someone who taught, then moved into project coordination. On paper, those things don't match. But in reality, they do. You're not just learning skills. You're learning systems. And that's why you often feel behind. You look at people your age becoming senior managers, lead engineers, founders, or executives, and you feel like you're still at the starting line. Not because you're lazy, but because you've misunderstood the shape of your growth. You're not T-shaped, general knowledge with one specialty. You're M-shaped. An M-shaped life has multiple pillars of depth, connected by curiosity. But here's the trap. You cannot build all the pillars at the same time. If you try to learn tech, build a business, write a book, and reinvent your career all in one season, you will burn out. The people who thrive with this kind of mind practice serial mastery. They live in seasons. One season, they focus on the skill that pays the bills. Another season, they nurture creativity, teaching, or personal projects. They don't quit their interest, they pause them. I once read about someone in their 50s who finally made peace with this. They stopped trying to choose between logic and creativity. They let one skill fund their life while the others lived in the evenings and weekends. Over time, everything merged naturally into projects that felt meaningful and sustainable. That's the M shape in action. And here's the final piece. This comes from biology. It's called redundancy. In nature, redundancy isn't waste, it's survival. Some organisms survive because they have backups. If one system fails, another takes over. Your many interests are your redundancy. If you only know one thing and that industry collapses, panic follows. But if you can teach, organize, communicate, care, plan, and adapt, you are resilient. You weren't wasting time. You were building insurance. So stop apologizing for your graveyard of hobbies. Those weren't failures. They were semesters in the university of your own making. You were never meant to be just one thing. You were built to connect words others can't even see. If this resonates with you, drop a red heart in the comments. You're not scattered. You're becoming.